Hi boys and girls, I'm Mrs. Dare, and today for summer reading we are going to go on a fun, fantastic, hilarious adventure with Skippy John Jones. And this is written by Judy Schachner. Every morning, Skippy John Jones woke up with the birds. You can see his little ears peeking out of the nest, so he is literally waking up with the birds. Look at him. Is a cat really sleeping in a bird's nest? I don't think so. So let's see what Skippy John's going to do today. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down from there right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds, she scolded, or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohickeys' bird bath. Skippy John is doing a lot of really weird stuff right now. The lecture went on and on and on as usual. "You've got some serious thinking to do before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother. "Just about what it means to be a cat and not a bird, or a mouse, or a grouse, or a moose, or a goose, or a rat, or even a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. Skippy John got grounded. But once he was alone, Skippy John Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippy John Jones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head." On his way down to earth from a gigantic bounce, Skippy John Jones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippy John Jones. "What was that?" I think he's having a little too much fun being grounded in his room. So he went up again and appeared again. And then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippy John Jones climbed into his box and ruffled through some of his old junk. And after he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippy John Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow, but I'm sweet like Jello. And I get the job done, yes, oh indeedo." Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jilly Boo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippy John come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still in his room thinking." I don't think Skippy John's doing a whole lot of thinking about his actions right now. In fact, Skippy John Jones wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. See, I told you, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. So, with a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, this mysterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay, caramba, who goes there?" said Skippy John Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I'm El Skippito, a great sword fighter said Skippy John Jones. And then the smallest of the small spoke up. "Why the mosquito, dude?" asked Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skippito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintolino. "See, I love mice and beans," said Skippito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Has anybody ever seen dogs that look like this? We have some with polka dots, Some with flowers, some are green, some are blue. We have a purple one. Those are very interesting looking chihuahuas. Leaning toward Don Diego, El Scipito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the chihuahua's very large ear. Achoo! Bless you, said Don Diego. Gracias, said Scipito. Then it is true, decreed Don Diego. Yippee, yippee, yippee-do! It's the end of Alfredo Bazito. Scipito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumbalito. And then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco, excited. First, they had a fiesta. And then they took a siesta because that would make you tired. And a siesta is a nap. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumbalito for Scipito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos, so great that one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Bazito, whispered the crowd. El Blimpo, Bumblebito, Bandito. Can you tell what that is a drawing of? It's a bumblebee. Sí, said Paquito Tito. The bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Scipito, totally outraged. Sí, Paquito continued. Red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly too. And now he comes for us, Paquito added. Okay? Asked Scipito. Because we are full of the beans too. And then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? Asked Skippy John. The dude just wants his bean back, said Paquito Tito. And you are just the dog for the job. Me? Asked Scipito. And then all of the chimichangos turned towards Scipito, the great sword fighter. But there is one problem. Have you figured it out what the problem is yet? Skippy John is not a dog. He's a cat. But poor Scipito had no time for a plan because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape and the chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vámonos, Scipito, or it is you the Bambito will eato, they cried. Scipito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook, just like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. And then in a muy soft voice, he said, My name is Scipito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. He's trying to be brave. But Alfredo Bazito flew straight for Scipito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Holy frijoles! Cried Scipito as he thrust his sword into the air. Pop! Went the bandito, landing on Scipito's sword, and quicker than one could say chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bazito, the Bumbalito Bandito. And then all the doggies burst into song. Yippee, yippee, yippee-do! Our hero is El Scipito. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippy John's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. So they raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Banguito, Crashito, Papito, Skippito! Look at what is going on in Skippy John's room. You remember he was supposed to be in his room, grounded, thinking about what he had done. They came in just in time to see Skippy John's closet exploding. And then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. "Skippy John Jones!" cried everybody. "Hola," he said, in a very, very soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippy John and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. "What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs?" she scolded. And that night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I am Skippy John Jones, with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that." "Say good night, Skippy John," called his mama. "Buenas noches, amigos," said Skippy John Jones. The end. So, don't forget to test on Skippy John Jones by Judy Schachner. And our AR test number is 76647. Bye everyone. Have a great summer. Thanks for reading with me today.